I'm Jody Sanders. This video is being brought to you by Babylock. Today we want to take a look at a couple of units in patchwork that are pretty basic, triangle squares and flying geese units. And I want to show you a couple tips and tricks to make those more easily and more quickly. The triangle square unit is made of two pieces, two triangles. You put them right sides together, sew along that bias line, and then open it up and press them to get a triangle square. That's kind of the traditional way of doing it. Today I want to show you a easier, faster, and more productive way to make 8 triangle squares more quickly. You're actually not even going to be using triangles at all to make the triangle squares. You'll be using 2 squares. They're cut the same size. Then you're going to be using a marking pen or pencil to mark the lightest one in an X from one corner on the diagonal to the other corner on the diagonal. Then you'll place your 2 pieces right sides together. These happen to be solids, and so there's not a right or wrong side, but if you are working with prints, you'll want to make sure that your right sides are together. Then you're going to take them to your sewing machine and you're going to sew 1/4 inch away from those marked X lines. So on this sample you can see we've sewn 1/4 inch away from the line here, and we've sewn 1/4 inch of the line here. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to do the same thing along this diagonal line. Then you're going to cut into 4 equal squares like we've done here. Now we're going to take them to our cutting board and we're going to cut along this diagonal line to make our 8 units. Now we've cut them into 8 equal triangle squares. Press them open to the dark side, and there you have it, a really quick way to make 8 triangle squares at one time using no triangles at all. Another unit that's used a lot in patchworking and quilting is the flying geese unit. Typically that's made with 2 different sized triangles. Again, sometimes you're working on the bias, and so what we want to do now is show you how to make flying geese units using squares only. First of all, you'll need 1 square that's the background, and then you'll need 4 smaller squares that are the little triangles on each side. Then you're going to take your 4 smaller squares and mark a diagonal line on all 4 squares. We'll take 2 of them away right now. Then you bring back your square that you have, your larger square, and we're going to place the smaller squares in one corner with that diagonal line. Then we're going to take the second marked square and we're going to place it matching in the other corner. Now you'll see you've got some overlap here, and that's okay. You should have overlap, but these lines should be right in a row. Now we're going to sew 1/4 inch on each side of the diagonal lines. And one thing to remember is if you're a little uncomfortable, you can always change the speed that you're sewing. So don't forget that you can slow things down or just take your foot off the foot pedal. So we've sewn down one side. We're just going to turn it around and go right back the other way on the other side of the line. Now you have sewn 1/4 inch on each side of the line. Once you've done that, with your rotary cutter and acrylic ruler, go ahead and cut on that diagonal line and you'll have these 2 pieces. Then we're going to go to the pressing and we're going to open up this and this, and we'll press and we'll be right back to sew the next unit. Okay, now you've pressed these back. We're going to take our 3rd square that we have marked with the diagonal line and we're going to place it in that corner. Again, with the diagonal line going this direction. Take it to your sewing machine and you're sewing 1/4 inch on each side of that diagonal line. Okay, so we've cut apart on the drawn line. Then you're going to take these to your ironing board and you're going to press back the triangles on each side to give you 2 flying geese units that will look like this. Then we're going to use our remaining pieces that we have to make 2 more flying geese units, so you'll have a total of 4 from this technique. See the formula below to make these units in any size that you want for the quilt that you're making. We hope that you've enjoyed learning how to make the no waste flying geese units and the triangle square units using only squares and no triangles.